Andy wrote a column, mailbag style, and discussed some possible trade deadline scenarios for the Mets. Andy, what's the most likely deadline approach for the team?
Well, when you look around the diamond, the only defensive position that they really can upgrade because of either contracts or people who are going to get a lot of runway is center field. And that's not a knock on Tyrone Taylor. In fact, when Jose Siri had his setback a week ago, he's not going to be back for a long time now, the reason the Mets didn't go get a center fielder imminently, like right away, was because Taylor's getting the job done in a lot of ways. He's an elite defender, and that's what David Stearns wants most in center field. Having said that, you could look at center field as a position where they could strengthen. Same thing with back end of the bullpen. One thing that happens when these starters aren't going length, obviously, is that relievers start to get burnt out. Max Kranick, huge for them early in the season. Now he's got a sore elbow. He's on the injured list. So shoring up that pitching staff, probably in the bullpen. If the rotation continues along this path, they might have to look at starter too. But right now, I'd say center field and bullpen.
So Tyrone Taylor has been a real nice player for the Mets. But if you're looking to upgrade the offense, this is an obvious place to look. And I'd be looking at Baltimore. If they fall out of this thing, I see Cedric Mullins as the perfect guy to complement Tyrone Taylor because he's going to help you out against right-handed pitching. We know he has power. We know he has a dynamic of speed. I'm not saying he's going to be the 30-30 guy he was a couple of years ago, but I like the idea of bringing in Mullins and having him complement Tyrone Taylor where they're both a part of this thing. Now, Jared Duran is a name, if indeed he's available. I would love to see him in a Met uniform. I just can't imagine the Red Sox, after trading Rafael Devers, are now going to take a guy that was a stud for you a year ago and basically trade him midway through the year. I mean, the Red Sox have done some crazy stuff over the last few years.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't surprise you, I guess. But assuming Duran is not going to be available, I think Mullins is a great fit for the Mets.
Hey, that's a Red Sox problem. If he's available, go get him. All right, Julian, who is somebody you think the Mets should target?
JJ, don't be surprised if they do that. Like, he's on the board. He's very well, Jared Duran, very well.
If he is, go get him. How about that?
Yeah. He could be a Met. No, my guy that I have on the board is Sandy Alcantara. Look, I know he hasn't had a really good season yet, but look, he is a Cy Young Award winner. He's a dynamite stuff, elite stuff. He knows how to pitch. And sometimes when you're with a bad organization, bad results follow. And so you're looking at somebody like Sandy Alcantara, you get him into a situation with the Mets. You got the juice flowing. You got Juan Soto there. You got Francisco Lindor going. Get him in there. I guarantee he can be a guy that can make a difference.
Andy, you also answered a question in your mailbag about Francisco Alvarez. Would the Mets consider sending him down?
Yeah, so unbelievable that this is a fair question at this point, but it is. Look, the Mets would prefer for Alvarez to get right at the major league level because they know they're a better team with Alvarez, as it's still a tremendous upside there for him to find that here, be the primary catcher with Louis Torrens being like a high-end second catcher. I don't even want to call him a backup because they're sharing some time. But they're also trying to win ball games here, and if he doesn't improve, they will consider sending him down. It's not something that I understand to be imminent, but the fact that we're talking about this tells you that he probably doesn't have a ton more rope if he doesn't turn it around.
Oh, well,